Good evening. I'm going to call our meeting to order of the combined agenda and regular meeting of the Monroe Township Council, August 3rd, 2026. May I ask everyone to please rise to salute the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, can we please have a roll call?
Councilwoman Miriam Cohen. Councilman Charles DePiero.
Here.
Councilman Terrence Van Zora. Let the record show that Councilman Van Zora is absent this evening. Council Vice President Michael Markell.
Here.
Council President Rupa P. Siegel.
Here. Clerk, can you please read item 4?
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, it is hereby announced and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting that adequate notice has been provided by the following. 1. Posted on the bulletin board within the municipal building on December 26, 2025, and remains posted at that location for public inspection. 2. Printed in the Home News Tribune and the Cranberry Press on December 26, 2025. 3. Posted on the Monroe Township website. And 4. Sent to those individuals who have requested personal notice. In accordance with Chapter 3, Section 17 of the Monroe Township Code, public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes unless further time is granted by the Council President.
Thank you. Moving on to proclamations and presentations, we'd like to congratulate the Monroe Township Police Youth Academy graduates. They're not present this evening, but we will invite them to a future meeting. And I'd like to, at this time, ask Chief Banos to please come up to the podium for the swearing in of our new police officers.
Thank you. Good evening. We're fortunate enough tonight to swear in 3 of our newest officers. They've been here for a few months, but we like to see them get off training before we do this, in case we have to, tell them goodbye. So 3 of them made it off, so that's good. So we have a very strict hiring process here. Whether we hire off resumes or give a test, we have a very strict background. We really go in depth because I see this as a family. These guys and girls spend more time with us most of the time than they do with their own families and people they're living with. So we take it very serious. We only want the best of the best coming in, and I think we do a pretty good job of that. So tonight we have 3 officers, Officer Risco, Officer O'Boyle, and Officer O'Neill. Officer Risco, please come up. Officer Ryan John Risco is 33 years old and grew up in South River, New Jersey, where he attended South River High School and was a member of the wrestling team. Upon graduating South River High School in 2011, Officer Risco began training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and eventually earning the rank of black belt, and also fought professionally for Cage Fury Fighting Championships. After fighting professionally, Officer Risco got hired by the Middlesex County Department of Corrections. While there, he was a member of their Special Operations Group, where he dealt with rowdy and unruly prisoners. In July of 2025, we hired Officer Risco and sent him to the Cape May County Police Academy, where he graduated in January of 2026. Since graduating, Officer Risco has been assigned to the Patrol Division. Here with Officer Risco tonight is his wife, Nikki Risco, his father, John Risco, his mother, Jill Risco, and his niece, Alexis Mano. Holding the Bible will be his wife, Nikki.
Okay, repeat after me. I, please state your name.
I, Officer Ryan Risco,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
unto the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
impartially and justly perform
and faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of
all the duties of
police officer of the Monroe Township Police Department
police officer of the Monroe Township Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. You need your microphone? Yeah? You?
That will help.
Officer Boyle, please come up. Officer Riley James O'Boyle is 21 years old and grew up in Manahawkin, New Jersey. He attended Southern Regional High School, where he was a member of the Southern Regional Wrestling Team. While there, Officer O'Boyle made the state finals his senior year and placed second. After graduating in 2023, he attended Millersville University in Pennsylvania, where he was wrestling and majoring in communications. That's where we stole him from. Monroe hired Officer O'Boyle in July of 2025 and sent him to the Cape May County Police Academy, where he graduated in January of 26. Officer O'Boyle is currently assigned to the Patrol Division. And with Officer O'Boyle tonight is his father, Patrick O'Boyle, his mother, Jennifer Kett, his sister, Caitlin O'Boyle, his stepmother, Sarah O'Boyle, and his stepsister, Jocelyn Heiler. Holding the Bible for Officer O'Boyle will be his father, Patrick.
Right hand up, left hand on the Bible. Repeat after me. Repeat after me. I, please state your name,
I, Riley O'Boyle,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform
impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of
all the duties of
police officer of the Monroe Township Police Department
police officer of the Monroe Township Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Officer O'Neill. Officer Cameron Bernard O'Neill is 23 years old and grew up in Aberdeen, New Jersey. He attended Matawan Regional High School, where he had a very successful wrestling career. Seems like a major common theme tonight. Wonder how that happened. Officer O'Neill graduated in 2021 and attended Delaware Valley University, where he's a member of the wrestling team. Officer O'Neill was hired by the Monroe Township Police Department in January of 2026 and was assigned to the Patrol Division, as he had already completed the Monmouth County Police Academy, where he graduated in December of 2025. With Officer O'Neill tonight are his parents, Sharon and Kevin O'Neill, his brother Chandler O'Neill, and his aunt, Tara O'Neill. Holding the Bible for Officer O'Neill tonight will be his brother Chandler.
Repeat after me. I, please state your name,
I, Cameron O'Neill,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
impartially, and justly perform
all the duties of
all the duties of
police officer of the Monroe Township Police Department
police officer of the Monroe Township Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to everyone. We're going to take a 5-minute recess so we can take some pictures. We'll move on to item 6. Clerk, can you please read?
Ordinances for second reading at the August 3rd, 2026 regular meeting. Ordinance 06-2026-010. Ordinance amending Chapter 39 of the Code of the Township of Monroe entitled Fees. Ordinance 06-2026-011. Ordinance authorizing the acceptance of a deed of permanent easement by Theodore Walker and Jennifer Walker concerning property at Block 6, Lot 30. Ordinance 06-2026-012. Ordinance authorizing the acceptance of a deed of permanent easement by Louis S. Divino concerning property at Block 6, Lot 27.3. Ordinance 06-2026-013. Ordinance amending Chapter 108, Article 6.16A, PO/CD, Planned Office Commercial District, and Article 6.18A, HD, Highway Development District, and Article 6.19A, LI, Light Industrial District, and 6.25A, OP, Office Professional District. Ordinance 06-2026-014. Ordinance recommending the adoption of the Municipal Landfill Redevelopment Plan for property known as Block 148, lots 36.01 and 37, and Block 148.60, lots 23.01, 24, 25, 26, and 27. Ordinance 06-2026-015. Bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $2,392,045 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,882,855 bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof. Ordinance 06-2026-016. Bond ordinance providing for various improvements to the water sewer utility in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $4,368,200 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $4,368,200 bonds or notes of the Township to finance the cost thereof. Ordinance 06-2026-017. Ordinance authorizing the Township of Monroe to convey a portion of property located at Spotswood Englishtown Road, Block 54, Lot 5.04, Monroe, New Jersey, to Middlesex County for roadway/culvert improvements.
Thank you. And Clerk, can you please read item 8?
Resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda at the August 3rd, 2026 regular meeting are 8/2026-136 through R8/2026-156.
Thank you. Council members, can you please review the resolutions? Does anyone have any that need to be removed?
No.
And sorry, Council President, just want to make a note for the record that we are removing Resolution 155 from the agenda. This was the resolution to amend our capital budget. We usually do that every year when our bond ordinance is slightly different than the capital plan that we developed early in the year. But actually this year it's not necessary. As we looked a little deeper into it, our ordinance and our capital plan match, so there's no reason for that resolution. So we would ask that that be removed from the consent agenda.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 9, to our public comments. May I have a motion to open? May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This is public comments is open. It's for agenda items only. 5 minutes per speaker. Please state your name and address for the record.
Lorraine, 64 Starlight Drive. The attendees will be happy to know that I will be brief. I direct my... Is this better?
Yes.
I address my comments to ordinances 015 and 016. Once the ordinances are passed, and I have little doubt that they will be, they become debts that the taxpayers have to pay back. And that is legitimate. But it's kind of shoehorning in the sense that we do it now, it's painless, and then the payments come at a later point in time when there is no particular ability to oppose making those payments. What I'm leading up to is there is a way that I think would be much preferable, although politically impossible, and that would be to obtain the funds, and of course it would have to be through taxation, but to obtain the funds first so that the people do have a say in the future amounts that they're going to have to pay, as opposed to passing it now as a bond ordinance when they would not have a say at a later point in time. And again, I realize that that is probably politically impossible, but I just stated as something that would be nice.
Thank you.
Council President, George Gunkelman, 5 Kelly Court, Monroe. I have a question about the 014, which is the adoption of municipal landfill redevelopment plan. What's the story of that landfill, and how did it become ours and not the people who owned it? Where's the liability there? And I don't know any of the backstory. I don't even know where it is. I don't have a lot and block map at home. So without a location, I don't know what we're even talking about, let alone, I don't know if there's an existing plan or if this isn't an ordinance to prepare a plan. So if someone could enlighten me, please.
Sure. Council President, so this landfill is on our northern side of town, it's about 80 acres that sits between Lonnie Street and Spotswood Gravel Hill Road, between the Inwood Estates neighborhood and Spotswood Gravel Hill Road. It was historically, and I won't be able to capture the entire history, but it was historically a municipal waste landfill in the 1940s, 1950s, 1960s. It was closed as a Superfund site throughout the 1980s and early 1990s. The township has always maintained ownership of the underlying land, but the way Superfund sites work is that the EPA and the DEP appoint an entity that has operational control and liability and responsibility for the site. And that was BFI Waste Systems, or Browning Ferris Incorporated, which is now owned by Republic Services, the national corporation. This redevelopment plan essentially changes the underlying zoning of that 80 acres to permit nothing except the solar array project that we've negotiated with the redeveloper on this project, and the redevelopment plan lays out the buffer requirements and some of the other bulk standard requirements, but the redeveloper still has to come before the planning board with a full site plan, just like every other applicant, and that has to be approved by the planning board. That process hasn't happened yet. This is one of the initial steps to change the underlying zoning at that site.
Who is the redeveloper?
It's CEP Renewables. And they're a company that has a lot of experience in creating community solar on top of closed landfill sites throughout New Jersey and throughout other states as well.
Who will own the field when it's done?
It'll be CEP Renewables will own the field when this is complete.
And are they leasing this land from the township?
So this acquisition is being conveyed to them as part of a settlement of a federal litigation between the township and BFI Waste Systems.
Okay, so we spent all that money to get the wastewater out of there, and we went to court with them, and we lost? Because now we're giving them something?
Well, what we're doing is we're bringing in a new operator. We're negotiating a deal with a new operator, which moves BFI out of the equation, moves the liability away from the township, settles the lawsuit, and provides a community solar program for that community in and around Inwood Estates. So I would not characterize it as we lost. I characterize it as the mayor has talked about at this meeting many times and has provided that communication to the public. This was the settlement that the mayor and this council agreed to settle that litigation.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Prakash Pura, 33 Dana Drive. President, I have questions on the same resolution. It is good to have solar panels and all, but can you please explain how the deal is done, the electricity produced by them, whether they sell it to the market or what things we have put in so that it will be provided to us, how the costs are determined, because the electricity prices are going on, and so can you please explain how it will benefit our community?
Sure. Council President, so this, when it's completed and constructed, this will be a community solar program where residents will be able to buy into that community solar to reduce the electric bill on their own homes without putting solar on their own roofs. The traditional sense that I'm sure many of you see or experience yourself is you put solar panels on your own roof, and that adds additional supply into the grid, and therefore you get a reduction in your home electric bills. This is a similar concept, except instead of adding solar to the roof of your own home, you're participating in a membership in a large solar field. Sometimes this happens on the top of warehouses, sometimes it happens in projects like this. And what that does for those who participate in that membership, it will reduce a portion of their home electric bills.
One follow-up question. There where it is, suppose I use that energy, it doesn't mean that I cannot put solar system, because technology is changing. The citizens should be free to do, so that will be there, no?
You're saying does an individual still have the ability to put solar on their own home? Absolutely. This doesn't prohibit that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Of course.
Good evening, Michelle Arminio. I'm going to talk about or ask questions about the resolutions, please. On page 2, resolution 139, the award of bid contract for $937,650. Is this the Spotswood Englishtown Road to drill? I mean, is that the most recent well we have constructed in Monroe?
Council President, I'm going to ask Mr. Stroin to speak to this contract.
And what does it entail and why?
Council President, this has nothing to do with the well. This has to do with...
Sorry. Good.
This has to do with the county installing new culverts on Spotswood Englishtown Road, which requires the township to actually relocate its water main to allow those culverts to be installed.
And what's the purpose of relocating the water main? Is for all the new construction that's going to be going on in that area?
Has nothing to do with that.
So what does it have to do with, please?
It has to do with the fact that the culverts can't be constructed in conflict with the water main, so we have to move it.
I know, but then why do we need the culverts?
The county's installing it for flood control.
Okay. I mean, I think it sounds like it might be benefiting the rapid development along that side. So, and that's the county. So that's I don't need an answer. I'm just making a comment. That's taxpayer money going into that as well. Even though it's county, we pay county taxes. All right, I'd like to move on to Resolution 148. The resolution authorizing the refund of tax overpayments, and there's no dollar amount, but I looked it up, and I think it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, $93,000 overpayment. Who overpays $93,000?
This, Council President, this wasn't one particular taxpayer, this or property owner. Our tax assessor has put in for, I believe it was 14 or 16 different property owners where there was an overpayment.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's where that's going.
Correct.
And we've had settlements in 2025. Do we know how many settlements there have been where people have been relieved of their taxes to Monroe?
Council
Some
President,
of the
I don't have
bigger
that number
ones?
in front of me. Our tax assessor has the authority to settle all tax appeals. I can certainly get that number and have it for the next meeting.
Okay, because I think if I'm, again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's in the millions. There have been a couple entities that have not paid taxes or gotten tax relief of at least, upwards of $1 million. Does that ring a bell?
Council President, in any particular year, I'm not aware of over $1 million or $1 million in tax refunds.
Not refunds.
Tax
Relief.
appeal settlements. Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference, right? Because refunds are one thing. That's after they're paid. Settlements are, and how many times do we actually win those settlements? I'm wondering.
Council President, so when you say win a settlement, so a settlement is a negotiated agreement between both parties. Both parties probably don't get everything they want and come away a little unhappy. So I don't know if I would characterize that as a win or a loss, but only 1 in 10,000 tax appeal cases in the state of New Jersey actually go to trial, right? Most of them do settle, of course. So I don't have an example of when our township or any of our neighbors have gone to trial on a tax appeal recently.
Thank you. It's not the trial that I'm concerned about. I think both parties are probably quick to settle. So I think the majority of the money will come from settlements, which is public record, right? Our settlements?
Of course.
Okay, good. Thank you. And my third question, but I think, I don't know if I heard right, is 155 eliminated from the agenda? Okay, so that was my third question. Do I have any time left? I do. Okay, so let me go to, I want to thank the gentleman in the public who brought a different perspective to the two ordinances, 015 and 016. It might be time for us to get a little progressive with some ideas instead of relying on the old way of doing things. Maybe we can bring some new ideas. I noticed no one really responded to that gentleman, but as a taxpayer, I want to thank him for bringing, and I think I would hope that going into the future, we have some issues with government. Maybe we can bring some fresh ideas. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pat Swalje, 586A Madison Drive. My first question is about 013, the second reading of the ordinance. Is there enough of a quorum today to take a vote on that?
Yes, there is.
Okay, all right.
There's only one council member missing.
Okay. And my second my next question is, how do I get a copy of the entire zoning code? I know it's probably many pages. I can see things on my computer, but I can't necessarily always run them off. Is there a charge for that, or can you get a copy of it?
Sorry, that may be more. I was going to answer about how we have it on our website, but I apologize. That may be more of a question for the clerk's office, if there's a full copy of the code available for sale.
It's a very, very thick book, so I would have to reach out to who makes that for us and get a price. It would just be regular cost of reproduction for that.
Okay. All right.
So you could email me with that request, and I'll look into it for you.
Okay. My next question is about 014. Where does the energy, what's the next step for the energy that is generated by the solar panels? Where does that energy go next? Is there a storage facility or?
Council President, I don't have the specifics of sort of the mechanics of how that operates, but that applicant will need to come to the planning board and discuss the entire process of how they gather that energy, how they store it, how they send it back to the grid. I don't want to, I don't want to try and guess and give you the wrong information, but at the appropriate time in the process, when they come to the planning board, that's when they would be able to answer that question.
Okay, because I believe that would be a really important question and a really important thing that residents can find out. Where does the energy then go next?
Sure, and there's lots of community solar programs around Monroe and Middlesex County that have been doing this for many years. Like I said, on the tops of warehouses and in other landfills. So those questions can definitely be answered. I just don't want to give you the wrong information tonight.
Okay, but we have as ratepayers, as one of our new titles is. In America nowadays, as ratepayers, we've seen a very significant rise in our electrical bills. So, and I do see a lot of solar farms going up. So I think it's important that we start asking, where's the energy generated by the solar projects? Where does it go? Oh, and I will be back with more at the public portion.
Any other members of the public wishing to speak, make comments on agenda items? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close?
Motion.
May I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Moving on to item 10, may I have a motion to adjourn our agenda meeting? May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cohen. Yes. Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Council Vice President Markell. Council President Siegel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And time?
7:12.
Great. Moving on to our regular meeting, may I have a motion to open? May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cohen. Yes. Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Council Vice President Markell. Council President Siegel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
7:13.
May I have a motion to approve the payment of claims per run date July 29, 2026? Thank you. May I have a second? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cohen. Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Council Vice President Markell. Council President Siegel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Moving on to item 3, approval of minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the following meetings as written and presented?
Motion.
June 29, 2026, agenda and regular combined meeting. We have a motion. May I have a second, please? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cohen. Yes. Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Council Vice President Markell. Yes. Council President Siegel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Clerk, can you please read our first ordinance for second reading?
Ordinance 06-2026-010. Ordinance amending Chapter 39 of the Code of the Township of Monroe entitled Fees.
May I have a motion to open the public hearing? May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, public hearing is open. 5 minutes per speaker. Please state your name and address for the record.
Pat Swalj, 586A Madison Drive. Once again, I'm sitting before this council because as I am happy and hopeful that you will vote to pass the second reading of the amendment to our zoning code. As it stands now, the push to improve zoning.
Ms. Walje,
Yes.
this is for our ordinance 010.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, all right.
Do you want to come back up for the next?
Yes, I do.
Any other members of the public wishing to speak on this ordinance? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close?
Motion.
May I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to adopt? May I have a second?
Second.
Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cohen. Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Council Vice President Markell. Council President Siegel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Clerk, can you please read the next ordinance?
Ordinance 06-2026-011. Ordinance authorizing the acceptance of a deed of permanent easement by Theodore Walker and Jennifer Walker concerning property at Block 6, Lot 30.
May I have a motion to open the public hearing? May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is open. Anyone wishing to speak? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close? May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to adopt? Second.
Second.
Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cohen. Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Council Vice President Markell. Council President Siegel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Clerk, can you please read the next ordinance?
Ordinance 06-2026-012. Ordinance authorizing the acceptance of a deed of permanent easement by Louis S. Divino concerning property at Block 6, Lot 27.3.
Thank you. May I have a motion to open? May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing's open. Seeing no one wishing to speak, may I have a motion to close the public hearing? May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to adopt? May I have a second?
Second.
Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cohen. Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Council Vice President Markell.
Yes.
Council President Siegel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Clerk, can we read the next ordinance, please?
Ordinance 06-2026-013. Ordinance amending Chapter 108, Article 6.16A, PO/CD, Planned Office Commercial District, and Article 6.18A, HD, Highway Development District, and Article 6.19A, LI, Light Industrial District, and 6.25A, OP, Office Professional District.
Thank you. May I have a motion to open the public hearing? May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is open.
Once again, Pat Swalj, 586A Madison Drive. I am happy that this is coming up for a second reading. I am happy that the council took quite a swift look at this, and I am hoping that all of you will vote to amend the zoning code. Thank you.
Thank you.
Prakash Parab, 33 Dana Drive. I know that throughout United States and anywhere there have been debates not to have data centers because they use electricity and water, and that impacts to us. So our governor has already passed legislation prior is saying the data centers are coming, they have to produce their own electricity and all that criteria. So I agree that we should not have data centers, high capacity data centers, because when you say data centers, it should be legally. I'll ask a question, what do you mean by data center? You have to define it, because Even the computer which you use analyzes the data. So are we putting away any companies, technology companies coming here, and they are going to be evaluating the data? The banks will come, other companies will come. How you define data centers? You know, what is the capacity? Like to just passing a rough amendment, the language can be challenged and interpreted in different ways. So can I please get some answer on that?
Gowan.
Council President, I think it's a good question. I think the point of the ordinance amendment is to, as the mayor has talked about at prior meetings and with many residents in town, is to thoughtfully study, you know, what are these uses, what are the regulations, what are the protections, and how do we want to approach this moving forward? And in the meantime, clarifying in our ordinance that we currently don't have data centers as a permitted use. There is some vague and unclear language from the code from about 35 years ago. And the point of this is to just remove all doubt. Data centers are not currently a permitted use in the Township of Monroe. And as the mayor said, you know, thoughtfully look at what the future, what that technology is. Is it appropriate for Monroe? Is it not? And this just gives us the ability to do that without potentially trying to manage an applicant who's looking to come in to build something that we don't believe is a permitted use.
The question is how you differentiate between data centers and computer centers. See, it is a different category there. So when you put computer centers, means computers are used even in my house, everywhere in schools. So we cannot, I've been seeing here people going and writing, no AI. Come on, guys. This is a leap for the America, and you say no AI. That's, you know, I agree that data centers, because they consume a lot of electricity, they consume a lot of water and impact to our ecosystem and neighborhood. So if future technology comes with the self-developed electricity production on site and use of less water and efficient at water canals, that is what New Jersey should be thinking about, and then the town should be thinking about. So I want, here today I'm speaking, I've seen people walking around and taking petition signatures, no AI. That is wrong. This is United States, the next leap for us. So I'll comment on the public forum later on. Thank you very much.
Tom Walsh is my name. I live at 1624A Windsor Way. I endorse the amended removal of the data processing and computer science language from that particular ordinance. Thank you very much.
Hi, Catherine Hunt, 121P Lowell Lane. Just want to remark again on the data center amendment here. I think it's a step in the right direction, but it has to specifically state in every single zone that data centers are not permitted. Otherwise, a data center can buy for another purpose and then say that, oh, well, that didn't work out, so we've started building a data center. It doesn't specifically say we can't. And this has happened in other townships. So we have to be very specific. Or the ordinance could say, or we could put a sentence in the ordinance that says, if data centers are not specifically mentioned in these laws, they are prohibited. Or anything that is not mentioned is prohibited. That way we cover ourselves in every case to make sure that data centers will not find a way to weasel in. and wanted to know if this language is already in the ordinance.
Council President, that exact language is already in our ordinance, and it's a great point that you make. And it's also in the municipal land use law, but it's in our ordinance as well. If a particular use is not specifically permitted, it is by default prohibited, and someone can't just change the use of their property after they get, a planning board or zoning board approval. They'd have to come back to the town. They'd have to go back to the beginning of the process. And if it's not a permitted use, it's a prohibited use. So it's a great point, and thankfully, Monroe, like many towns, already has that language in its ordinance.
That's great. I looked and I could not find the ordinance itself so that I could actually read it.
Sure.
And I realized the whole thing is a long book, quite a thick book.
Council President, I don't mind putting it on the record. It's Chapter 108-6.5. I want to say D. That's my handwriting, but I'm pretty sure that's a D. In any event, it's 108-6.5.
All right. Well, thank you. And just wanted to also mention that the excessive use of electricity by these data centers competes with our families and our just, general ratepayers, and competes directly through the grid. I experienced a shock when I got my bill last January. It was a bill for December, and December wasn't even all that cold compared to January, February, and so forth. And I looked at that bill and I realized I could not pay it. It's because our rates have gone so high, because no matter where you put the data centers, they stress the grid, because about 13 or 14 states on the same grid. So I realized that not only that bill I couldn't pay, but I would not be able to pay the January bill, the February bill, and so forth. The bills would stack up. I wouldn't be able to pay them. And what happens next? You get cut off. And then you have to pay the re-up fee in order to get back. So I just turned off mine. I'm in an upstairs apartment. The pipes would not freeze. It was not pleasant. I wore my outdoor clothes indoors the rest of the winter. And I asked my neighbors, what were they experiencing with this great increase in the rates? One lady said that she tells all her friends, if you come over, dress warmly, it will not be warm in here. Other people, when they had the capability, they were able to turn off the thermostat for other rooms in their house and only heat one. Very clever if you could do that. And other people simply turned down as far as they could stand.
Thank you, Ms. Hunt. Your time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to speak?
My name is Barbara Boyer. I live at 551A Sheldon Way. I'm also commenting regarding the ordinance 013. Perhaps you can enlighten me. I understand that if data centers are permitted to come, that the taxpayer ends up paying for their water and their electrical usage. Is that correct?
Good. It can be correct. I don't want to say that never happens. There are municipalities that make deals with data centers that provide for certain tax breaks, utility breaks, things like that, in which they become taxpayer funded. That's not something that Monroe does. It's not something that's ever been contemplated by anyone on this council or in this administration. That's a direct cost that some municipalities chose to take on in dealing with them that you may have heard about. Alternatively, as has been pointed out, when they do stress the grid, when they do drain excess resources because of either poor design or poor management, that can create additional surcharges that the utility companies then go to the Board of Public Utilities to raise their rates or get temporary bumps to their rates that the rest of the ratepayers feel, and that would be other taxpayers. So that is one of the dangers of them, that if they're poorly designed, planned, managed, and implemented, or if they change things after they get their permitting and force it through, that can create additional costs to the taxpayers. But there's no danger of that being a direct cost here.
So what advantage is there to having data centers in Monroe Township?
At this point, there isn't one, which is why this ordinance is being put through, so that the idea can be studied. And you've heard from the gentleman back there where not all data centers are bad, not all technology is bad, but the thoughtful implementation, the appropriate regulation, and the thoughtful management of it by the township in where they go, how big they are, what they're permitted to use, can be beneficial from a rateable perspective, because those centers do get taxed. From an economic development perspective, there are potential advantages, but until the township has time to study that and time to learn about that and trying to implement thoughtful, regulated legislation, it's not something that anyone has any intention to allow.
Well, I support the resolution that prohibits data centers in Monroe Township.
Alan Schwartz, 19 London Drive. Just so everybody really understands what Kevin had stated earlier and what Prakash was talking about, they're perfectly right. There's not every business is bad for the township, and really listen to this. What this ordinance is going to do for us, the taxpayers, is give our township and the council time to figure out what are going to be the beneficial businesses to bring in to this township that will give us ratables and not be a burden to the taxpayers. And that's what this ordinance is all about. Thank you.
Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? May I have a motion to adopt? May I have a second? Did you get second? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cohen. Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Council Vice President Markell. Council President Siegel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Clerk, can you please read the next ordinance?
Ordinance 06-2026-014. Ordinance recommending the adoption of the municipal landfill redevelopment plan for property known as Block 148, lots 36.01 and 37, and Block 148.60, lots 23.01, 24, 25, 26, and 27.
Thank you. May I have a motion to open the public hearing? May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public session is open. Seeing no one, may I have a motion to...
Wait, we have somebody.
Say what? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you. My apologies.
Michelle Arminio, 9 Nathaniel Street. I have, if I can get a quick, I don't want to use my whole 5 minutes, but if I can get a quick idea of how this process worked. I was at the planning board meeting, and on the agenda, it said that it was a discussion item. So who discusses this first, the council or the planning board, and who makes these recommendations? How does this come about?
Council President, so it starts at the council level. I'll try to go quick. I'm sorry. It's a long process, and we could always talk about it at any time as well. But
No, I think the public wants to know too.
It starts at the council level. was either earlier this year or late last year, the council tasked the planning board with doing a study to determine whether this site could be designated as what's called an area in need of redevelopment. There's criteria. Our township planning board planner did that study, went through the criteria, recommended to both the planning board and the council that it be designated as an area in need of redevelopment. So both the council and the planning board approved that.
And that was when, I pretty much come to all the meetings, and when was the deliberation in public, when did that take place?
Council President, there was public deliberation at both of those council meetings and planning board meetings.
No, the public was able to ask questions, but I never saw the council deliberating in front of the public. The Open Public Meetings Act recommends that these kinds of things be discussed in public, and very rarely do I hear the council either talking about these proposals or bringing them up. It's pretty much a yes vote on almost every measure in the last 26 years that I've been coming here. My question is, when were these things deliberated? I have been to the meetings, I have heard, and I was given very nicely a copy of the municipal landfill development, but there is no deliberation from our elected officials, and there really wasn't too much deliberation at the planning board. There were some questions asked. Deliberation is in order. These meetings are really to educate the public as to what's going on. I think we are running shy of what the expectation of the public is, and they might not realize it, or we certainly are running amok of the Open Public Meetings Act by not having things deliberated in public. There's rarely a question by our elected officials, and there's rarely a discussion by our boards and commissions. So that's my comment. My concern about this is that we talk about the landfill being, I have issues. I've been in this town since 1980. We have, even a few years ago, there was leachate coming from this site. Is there a guarantee that there will not be no longer leachate? I know we spent millions of dollars. I don't think we've ever retrieved that money. I know it was said to the public that we were going to divert whatever the leachate was, and we put piping, and I think it went to Sayreville. I don't know where it went for cleanup, but I'm not sure that we've actually, and I know the DPA has some no action necessary, but over the years, we've had problems with that area, and I just want to know that the residents will still be safe, and who will be the, responsible. And if this is a private entity and the township is really not going to get any resources back from this, people have to buy into it. So that's a couple of my statements about this. Do you want to comment or deliberate? That would be great.
So, Council President, I can answer a couple of those questions. So, leachate, which is the substance that happens when rainwater falls through the closed landfill, still has to be removed from the site from here, maybe into perpetuity, right? And so our pump station at the foot of that landfill collects that leachate and pumps it out to another pump station, which, as you say, eventually goes to the Middlesex County Utilities Authority. No matter who has operational control of that landfill, and the DEP and the EPA have to approve whoever has that operational control, that system is still in place and will be in place forever. What we did several years ago was remove the leachate from going through the residential sewer laterals in the neighborhood, and created our MTUD worked hard, created a dedicated force main to remove that leachate from the site without ever passing by anyone's house. So, and we can certainly have more conversations if necessary about that.
Well, I would imagine that once again everything's going to be a yes without deliberation, so I'll watch that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to speak on this ordinance public hearing? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close? May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to adopt? May I have a second?
I have a couple questions before. The public reach out about this facility. As we know, it was a Monroe Township landfill that the public used for many years. And I think the question that everybody has should be answered. What happens if something goes wrong? Will this developer just go bankrupt? Will the LLC, limited liability company, just walk away? Will the township still be held responsible? Because I think the deed is still going to be in our name, right? Which would mean, I mean, if we can just explain a little bit more to the public, to just ease everybody's mind, please.
It's a great question. Actually, as this process plays out, as we get to the end of the redevelopment plan and an application by the applicant to take over that site, the township actually will not hold on to the deed. It'll be transferred over to this entity that has to be DEP and EPA approved to take operational control and put in place a significant amount of bonds and financial sureties to ensure that should anything happen to that entity, and this is very common from what we're learning all over the country, that there is a financial surety involved so that the township and its taxpayers don't have to take on that burden.
Okay, so thank you, Kevin. Will it be deed restricted? Example, I've watched lots of times where we get cell towers, and a cell tower would be with an AT&T, a Verizon, or whoever, Sprint, and then they sell that lease. So is this something that if we transfer the deed to this company, they get the approval, and then they sell that to another company from California or wherever, and then we have no control? Or is it going to, if after this, is it going to be deed restricted that it comes back to the town?
Deed restricted that it comes back to the town. I don't know if such a deed restriction would exist.
It was done on Avenue K. The township did it to a fire company. Deed restricted. If you did not build a firehouse, the town would get the property back. It was on Avenue K, which our pump station for this leachate is going to, Avenue K pump station. I think a lot of the public are aware that we spent multiple millions of dollars for this property. And, you know, I've asked that question sitting here many years ago. How are we going to recoup our money? You know, and we're not recouping. It doesn't seem like we're recouping anything we're getting out of a lawsuit. I understand that. But I think that it's more than just getting out of the lawsuit. Are we getting any money for this property?
So, Councilman, as was explained last year when this council unanimously passed the resolution approving the settlement of this lawsuit, the strategy and the calculus that was made was to rid the taxpayer of the liability of this site, which comes with cost and uncertainty, and to rid the taxpayer of the cost and uncertainty of multiple year, perhaps multi-million-dollar federal litigation. I understand I understand the other argument. I understand the criticism that may not be enough. That's what the council decided to do, and that's the path and the trajectory that we're on. I am aware of, between two public entities like the fire district and the township, or even the township and the Board of Education, if certain property is not used for school purposes, it could revert back to the township. I'd have to look into whether or not that kind of an agreement, of a transaction, can exist between the township and this private entity. But to lay your fears at rest a little bit, I hope, is that the only permitted use on this site per the redevelopment plan would be the solar energy system. Right. A company can't just put up anything that they want at this point. Yeah.
I totally understand that, but sitting here as a taxpayer, as a councilman, and a lifetime resident, well, I used to go to that landfill when I was a kid, so with my father. So, but I want to tell you, the thing that questions me is we're doing a $15 million solar project right now, that we asked the taxpayers, and we got the approval for bonding, and we're doing that right now at the MTUD facility, and we're doing another approximately $20 million with our schools. But now, when you look at all of that expenditure for the next 30 years, here we are giving away a solar field of 80 acres, and we're telling the public you can buy into the project. Is that what we're saying? You can buy into this?
Yes, you can subscribe to be part of the community solar program, like you can at the Costco warehouse, like you can and a number of other sites. It creates a savings for you, not a detriment. You're not required to participate in that membership, but the first priority will go to the Inwood Estates neighborhood. After that, it'll go to the larger Monroe community, and then if there's still space left over, it could go further than that. So it is meant to lower your electric bill, not create a cost. It doesn't create a cost for those taxpayers.
Right, like as one of our residents came up, and I know a lot of our communities, adult communities, are all electric. One of our residents came up and she said she had to shut off her electric, and some are electric controlled, room controlled. You can put electric heat on one room and shut the others off. I mean, are all of the residents of Monroe that are in adult communities, outside adult communities, or the ones struggling to pay electric, they're going to be able to join this program?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I think we had a motion. Christine?
Second.
We're on a second. Thank you. We can have roll
Thank you,
call,
Council
please.
President.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Cohen. Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Council Vice President Markell.
Yes.
Council President Siegel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Clerk, can you please read the next ordinance?
Ordinance 06-2026-015, bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $2,392,045 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,882,855 bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof.
Thank you. May I have a motion to open the public hearing? May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is open.
Michelle Arminio, 9 Nathaniel Street. I have a copy of the ordinance here, and the projections are for several communities. Some acquisitions, I see road projects in Heritage Chase, acquisition of police radios. How often are all of these things accomplished in this ordinance? Because I know when Nathaniel Street, my community, Mr. Tambora used to brag that it was on the list, but he was never going to get the work done when they bonded for it. And true to his word, it took years for him to do our community. But in any case, will all these be done?
Council President?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Excuse me. So they're appropriated for these specific things.
So the bond ordinance, sorry, not to interrupt, the bond ordinance, the council is giving authority to secure this funding. Each of these items still has to come before the council for separate resolutions at future meetings for approval to move forward. For example, this allows us to go out and bond for the funding for the Heritage Chase paving project, which also has a $415,000 grant to it. However, when we go out to bid for that project, that still has to come here for the council for specific appropriation, right? This is simply authority to bond for that money, put the money in place, but it still has to come back here to the council.
But my question is, does it come back to the council with this specific appropriation? Let's say when we're talking about Heritage Chase.
Yes.
So Heritage Chase will, even though you have to come and get an approval, it's definitely, you're going to go down the list and try to hit all these improvements?
Correct. This year, we've pared this down to the items that we and our department heads from the administration feel are the most needed. We are going to pursue all of these projects. The only variable is we can't always predict the market and where these things go out to bid. At times, financially, if something comes back from bid too high, sometimes we can't do the project, or we have to come back to the council for additional authority from additional funding. But as best as we can tell, these are our estimates moving forward, and we plan to do each one of these projects.
And in the case as Mr. McGowan is talking about, are there prioritizing? Because I see that H looks like a big priority, drainage improvements throughout the township. We always have issues with drainage. So will the council be prioritizing some of these improvements?
Council President, some of these work in parallel where we are, pursuing contracts on multiple items. I would say the Heritage Chase project, and Mark can correct me if I'm wrong, is the greatest priority because we're getting an NJDOT grant. We've got to get that moving before the end of the year. And so if I had to pick one to prioritize, that's what we would pick.
Well, yeah, don't forget the drainage, though, too.
No, we're not. Absolutely not.
What kind of grant are we getting on that's not noted here, is it?
A New Jersey Department of Transportation state-level grant for $415,000.
That's great. Okay, thank you.
Prakash Parab, 33 Dana Drive. How much nowadays, my question, President, is I'm not expert on bonds, but I'm learning about treasury yields, how they are going up. How much interest we are paying, what interest are going on at present for the bonds, because we borrow the money and we pay the interest.
Correct. So Council President, and I always give this caveat, right? We have not actually gone out to secure this financing yet. This ordinance is the authority to do so. However, in the last round of financing that Lori and I did, we were able to get a great rate for a temporary 1-year note at 2.6%, which is very, very good in this market. Long-term financing, which is as this ordinance talks about, this would be an 8-year bond because the average aggregate useful life of these items is 8 years. Right now, the market's hovering around 3.5%. Okay. I can never guarantee that, but with our AA+ bond rating and our good reputation among investors as a township, I'm confident that we would get, we're always getting competitive. We always get 8, 10, 13 bids from investors to buy these bonds, and so I'm confident that that'll be the case again.
That rate is very good. Thank you.
That is very good. Yes.
Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Seeing none? Or are you? I'm sorry.
No, not yet.
We have many. May I have a motion to close? May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to adopt? May I have a second?
Council President, I have a quick question. When we put up on this agenda, we do these agendas, who actually makes the decision if to go out to bond or if we should just use the reserves that we have to make these purchases? Example, we're buying like $191,500 for a pickup truck, $32,000 for body armor for a police. Why wouldn't we use our reserves and not borrow the money and not pay any interest?
Sure, Council President. So the administration makes this recommendation to the council that there are certain items that are better paid for through capital dollars, meaning if an item is going to have a useful life of 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, then the taxpayers over all of those years would pay for that item or that project as opposed to the entirety of that project being paid by taxpayers up front right now. And I appreciate the other gentleman's point as well about why can't we create a program where we're simply buying this out of our typical budget. I mean, that would unfortunately, it would reduce our overall debt, but towns don't do that because it would skyrocket taxation. It would triple or quadruple taxation.
Well, I think, Kevin, I think what that resident said was, collect the money first and then spend it. Don't spend money that you don't have. And I think that's my question is, when I look at all of these smaller item purchases of like 30,000, 20,000, money we have in reserve, like why wouldn't we use that our reserve money to spend the little expenditures and borrow less?
Well, we want to maintain, a healthy surplus to a certain extent, right? If we burn through all of those reserves, no reserves left for next year. And if there's catastrophic situations, that's what that surplus is there for. We're also the collector for all of the other public entities in town, right? Every town is, right? We collect all taxes and distribute to the school district, the fire districts, the county, et cetera. And to blow through that reserve would make it very, very hard to do so. So we strategically pick in the budget, what should we pay out of the operating budget this year? And the council has the benefit of seeing, reviewing that budget and approving or disapproving of it. But these capital items, again, like every other town does, it is more cost effective instead of blowing through surplus to capitalize and monetize those projects over time. So again, there's lots of different opinions, lots of different ways to skin the cat on this. But I think over time we've made those strategic decisions wisely.
Thank you. Thank you, Council President.
We have a motion. We need a second.
We need a second, please. One second. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cohen. Yes. Councilman DePiero.
No.
Council Vice President Markell.
Yes.
Council President Siegel.
Yes. Clerk, can we please read?
Motion carries.
Thank you. Can you please read the next ordinance?
Ordinance 06-2026-016. Bond ordinance providing for various improvements to the water sewer utility in and by the Township of Monroe in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating $4,368,200 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $4,368,200 bonds or notes of the Township to finance part of the cost thereof.
May I have a motion to open the public hearing? So moved. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, public hearing is open.
And Council President, I just want, and I apologize, just I won't take the residents' time. I just wanted to make a quick note. Bond ordinances require 4 affirmative votes, so that was 3-1. So that ordinance actually failed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for that correction.
Michelle Arminio, 9 Nathaniel Street. Again, on the cost of the debt. I understand going out to bond. I was on the Board of Education for 9 years, and we had to do the same thing on occasion. But also the point of the financial prudence is, there's always a tension between both. But when we calculate the cost overall, and you're saying, we spread it out over 10 years, the cost of an item if we paid for it and the cost of an item with the bond calculated in, even if it's over 10 years, it might be, and I'm not in finance, so it could be double the cost of the item, even if it's over 10 years. I mean, just like, any amortized loan. I don't know, are these amortized, these bonds, Council President?
So, I mean, it wouldn't be double the cost, but yeah, your point is taken, right? When you borrow, just like when we all borrow for anything in our lives, right? There is an interest rate and there is a cost over time to be able to access those funds now. Of course, you pay a little bit more throughout.
Because what it seems like, it's not equal. If we pay $30,000, the councilman's example, if we pay $30,000 and have no debt, but we then borrow $30,000 and have I think the bond just went up, the long-term bond, I don't know, 6 point something today, I'm not sure. And
No.
it's fluctuating crazy. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. You can
It's
correct
a volatile market for sure, but
Right.
I haven't seen numbers that high.
I
got you.
listen to the radio. Who knows which one what number? The numbers are volatile, like you say. But I think, and I also have been here long enough that the utility company had $44 million between sewer and water, and we sort of blew through that. And I know that there was a surplus. That was a surplus that we blew through. I don't know if it was COVID or the last. I think 2008 perhaps. But that kind of thing, I'm concerned about constantly putting bonds out because the debt on those bonds is starting to increase. Like we pay millions of dollars a year in in debt costs, correct? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Prakash Parab, 33 Dana Drive. Entire United States, we take debt. Our debt is in trillions. And that's how the country works. And our dollar value is very, very strong. Entire world believes in our economy. And that's why they buy our bonds. That's how the country goes forward. My question is, if the ordinance fails today, this particular ordinance fails today, what is the impact to our sewage system and all? Because I don't want to know, because we cannot question when the ordinance fails. So I want to know, if the ordinance doesn't pass, what is the impact?
So, Council President, the particular ordinance that we're on is 016. It is a utility department bond ordinance. It puts money in place for the Applegar tank refurbishment, the water relocation project on Spotswood Englishtown Road, which Mr. Stroin spoke to earlier, at the area where the county is doing the culverts. That actually is a resolution that's on tonight as well. So if the bond ordinance doesn't pass, these projects can't move forward because we won't have the funding for them, and we'd have to pull that resolution, and we would have to go back to the drawing board and re-examine these projects and make some decisions and some recommendations from there.
Yeah. So, as a public person, as a resident, if the bond fails, what is the impact to the residents and community should be known. And if it is rewritten, why it is rewritten, how it is rewritten, how we are satisfied, everyone here, and we should understand, because failing something to finance which is essential is very important, because if you don't repair it, then if further damage comes, then to fix it, you pay more. So it has to be thoughtful discussion. Just, approving or failing, either vote, it should be thoughtful very well. So thank you very much.
George Kunkelman, 5 Keller Court, Monroe. The history of what's gone on with the town taking over the MTUD and all that money that went to help the town in a financial crisis, and now we're forced to bond. Or forced is not the right word, but choosing to bond to take care of these projects. As much as I have difficulty at times with bonding, most of those kind of projects will have a life longer than the bond, which is a very good start on any bond funding project. But my major concern is that should it fail and we don't fund these projects, the temptation for the town to sell our water department becomes higher. And to me, that's the worst thing that can happen in town. I've worked in communities that have done it, and it's every one that I observed was disastrous for the residents. Their rates went up, their service became weaker. So I'm advocating for passing this resolution because it's going to help us keep the MTUD. Thank you.
Yeah. Gary Bushman, 5 Monroe Road, Monroe Township. So I'm in favor of the bonding. Let's go back now since the $44 million 10, 12 years ago, I mean longer than that, probably 18, 19 years ago, came up. If it wasn't for the fact that the township took the surplus and used it to fund current operations, each year all of the homeowners who are taxpayers in this community would have had to pay more taxes to fund the budget. So that's a detriment. So let me give you an example of why it's important to have reserves. I live in a senior community. We have a budget, just like the township has a budget. I made a proposal at one point to increase the dues to pay for legal fees $5 a month so that we would have the money in the reserves to fund future payments. I was booed by my community for $5 a month in fees. I don't get it. I am a proponent, and I am an accountant with 60 years of experience of reserves. Reserves are the most important thing that any community or municipality or state government can have. If it wasn't for reserves, the moment that there's a flood, a fire, a catastrophe in this town, or the equipment for the public works departments gets destroyed at a flood, where's the money coming from? If we had a reserve, it would, or we'd have to bond for it if we had no reserves. So bonding becomes a necessity of every financial organization, including all of the stock market and all of the major entities that work in our society. They all borrow money. They can't self-sustain. That picture of not borrowing disappeared 40 years ago, maybe 50 years ago. And I'm talking from experience because I had clients that are 3rd and 4th generation that never borrowed. But in order to expand and pay current expenses, they had to fund it by borrowing. Thank you.
Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close? May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to adopt? May I have a second? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cohen. Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Council Vice President Markell. Council President Siegel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Clerk, can you please read the next ordinance?
Ordinance 06-2026-017. Ordinance authorizing, excuse me, ordinance authorizing the Township of Monroe to convey a portion of property located at Spotswood Englishtown Road, Block 54, Lot 5.04, Monroe, New Jersey, to Middlesex County for roadway culvert improvements.
Thank you. May I have a motion to open? May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Public hearing is open.
Just informational, Michelle Arminio, 9 Nathaniel Street. The property, Block 54, Lot 5.04, is that owned by the township currently?
Yes, it is.
And was that taken by eminent domain, or is that the township's property?
Oh, the history of how we acquired the property, I don't know. But the county's not taking anything by eminent domain. They've asked for a negotiation to take just 100 square feet, a sliver of land along the front, so they could do their culvert project.
Just out of curiosity, like what location is that on Spotswood Englishtown Road? Is that in front of the?
It's across the street from where Greeks Playland was.
It's across
the
the
display world.
Okay, because
Yeah.
there's an individual that I would be very upset about. One homeowner there's a development all around them, and they hardly have any land left, and they've been encroached upon. And I know the county, I don't know if the county or Monroe approached them for a portion of their land. And I would object to one single homeowner who's been there for a long time and not getting the land from the developer, because whatever's going on here is probably going to, I mean, you can shake your heads no, but it's probably going to benefit the immense development that's going on in that area. And I would certainly object if one poor homeowner who's been there for a long time's land would be taken away, because they have very little to begin with. And they've been pressured a great deal with the encroachment of huge development. Thank you.
Council President, if I can just clarify one point on that, just looking at the deed included in it, it looks like the municipality has owned this since November 7th of 1990 as part of an in rem foreclosure from decades ago.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to speak on this ordinance? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close?
Second.
Roll call, please. I'm sorry, not roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I know we're on ordinance, whatever number. May I have a motion to adopt?
Second.
May I have a second? Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cohen. Yes. Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Council Vice President Markell. Council President Siegel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 6. Clerk, can you please read the resolutions?
Resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda, R8 2026 136 through R8 2026 156, removing resolution R8 2026 155.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please? May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cohen. Yes. Councilman DePiero.
Yes.
Council Vice President Markell. Council President Siegel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And I believe we have no resolutions.
No, nothing under 7.
We'll move on to item 8. Mr. McGowan, our administrator's report.
Thank you, Council President. Just wanted to give a quick update on the progress of our solar ESIP project. It was mentioned earlier. Our contractors have been moving swiftly and have already completed a number of important tasks to keep us on schedule for completion in the late spring, early summer of next year. So the library will begin construction of its solar carport after the conclusion of our farmers market, which concludes at the end of September. Our EMS building, approximately 75% of the solar panels have already been installed, and the equipment pad has been successfully poured. The concrete work has been completed for the carport that will be constructed behind the EMS building. At DPW, construction crews are expected to mobilize throughout this week, with drilling activities beginning after that mobilization. There's actually a roof coating application that we're getting at the DPW building included in this project, so at no cost to the taxpayers, and it's about a $300,000 refurbishment to our DPW roof that comes at no cost to the township and extends the roof life by at least 15 years, possibly more, so we're excited about that. At the utility department, the DEP is continuing to review our permit applications, LED lighting upgrades are substantially complete at the senior center, utility department, at our rink, at the rec center, and the new LED lighting at the softball field has just been completed, which is very exciting, and we've heard a lot of great feedback about that. As well as we have HVAC upgrades that are happening, and building envelope upgrades that are nearly complete. So just want to thank DBW and all the teams that are working on that as well. Is my 5 minutes up? It's totally okay. That's what my wife does. She's like, stop. Thanks so much to our audit team and all their work to complete the audit. And thanks to our finance department for a clean audit with no deficiencies, no recommendations. And so that is a beautiful thing. We greatly appreciate all their hard work. Just a couple of quick announcements. Our 250th fireworks celebration is rescheduled for Friday, August 28th. The mayor wanted me to make sure that we thank everyone who was contributing to that event on July 4th, and unfortunately the weather did not cooperate and made the decision for us, essentially. The mayor's office, the rec department, the library, the PD, EMS, engineering, DPW, and I'm sure I'm missing some. So many of our departments go into the planning and execution of that event, and we'll all be back out there on Friday, the 28th at 5 o'clock, so please join us, weather permitting, knock on wood. National Night Out is tomorrow night from 6 to 9 in Thompson Park, as a way to honor and celebrate and have some fun with all of our first responders who do so much for us. And that is my report, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. McGowan. We'll move on to engineers report. Mr. Razumowitz.
Thank you, Council President. Just a quick update on a couple of the township projects. The 2026 road milling and paving. We've completed about 6 roads. There's still about 12 roads to go. Weather has slowed the paving down, but we hope to finish in August. James Monroe Park concession stand, park improvements. They do have a temporary certificate of occupancy there. The concession stand is open during the ball games, and we're working through some of the final items there to get a full certificate of occupancy. Links Drive, the milling and paving and the curbing on that road has been completed. That was with the help of a $552,000 NJDOT grant, and that project was completed last week. And lastly, the pickleball courts and parking lot at the senior center. The pickleball courts are open. The project's complete with the exception of landscaping. A contractor will be back in the fall to replace some landscaping that has died, and then also to complete the remainder of the landscaping for the site. And that's my report.
Great, thank you. Councilman DePiero, we'll start with you for council reports.
Thank you very much, Council President. I had a question. Back in 2021, we had special counsel for BFI. We hired a company, Van Neffs Feldman LLP, and we gave them a retainer of $50,000. So now that everything's resolved with this BFI, with the lawsuit and everything, is there if there's someone can look into it, see if there's any money left on our retainer of the $50,000? I'd appreciate that.
Sure, Council President. We only used $5,000 of that retainer at the time, so there was $45,000 left over. We then engaged another firm, another environmental expert, and this council. We reappropriated that money by resolution to that council, and I don't believe we ended up needing him for very much. And so that we'll get you a real dollar amount, but most of that was still left over.
I just want to get our taxpayers' money back if we could. Thank you, Kevin, for that explanation. Railroad crossing, Hoffman Station Road. They did they were closed for 3 or 4 days. It looks like it was done okay, not like the one on Schoolhouse. So I don't know if there's something that Mark could look at, or if our DPW guys, maybe they might have to put up slow down, signs over at that, almost like a speed bump, the way I look at it. But it's just my comment, but I appreciate them coming out, Conrail, and doing Schoolhouse and also that intersection. But if he could take a look at it, I'd appreciate it. I mean, that railroad crossing. The concerts in the park. I want to say thank you to Cultural Arts that put that together. I know we had a couple at the senior center. The last one was a band called Dragonfly. Council president was there, or mayor was there. And it was interesting to listen to a band play, and then the lead singer just started an hour before the concert. And as they say, the show must go on. They really mean the show must go on, because they did a great job. And I just wish we'd get a little bit more public in the park to see the concerts in the park. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that puts that together. I went to a ribbon cutting, Monroe Dental in Monroe Park, and it was very interesting because the dentist there has been there for 13, 14 months, and he just decided to do a ribbon cutting, and he gave the mayor and I a tour of the facility. And it's just nice that you have professionals come to our community, and we should just give them a shout out when they open a new business in town. I noticed on Prospect Plains there's a telephone pole and then a bump out on a curb that I don't know if it's a temporary curb, because JCP&L, no one can see, the lights aren't on at JCP&L, so no one could really get them to do anything. And it seems like they can't move these poles, they can't get street lights fixed. It's like pulling teeth with JCP&L. It's frustrating. I know our mayor, done so many things to try to make it happen. And I think it starts even at the governor, because every town has the same problem with the utility companies. But on Prospect Plains, there's a small curb, and I'm just concerned that snow plowing for a good part of my life, putting the plow against that curb it's an accident waiting to happen. I don't think an engineer would design that. I don't think an engineer would sign off on it, and I don't think we should accept it. So I pointed it out a couple times, but this time, before we do final paving, I like to see a better plan than having a bump out on that curb. I'm the Shade Tree Liaison for our Shade Tree Commission, which they work very hard. And I just wanted to ask if there's a way we can make the public more aware that to cut down trees, that you do need permits, and the process of going through to get the permit. It's not hard, but it's something that a lot of people are not aware. And going through the community, a lot of times people will say, I had no idea that I needed a permit. And if we could just make the public more aware, to please call, Pam, she's our secretary, and then Gary's our arbiter. He can come in, he can help them along the way, pay for the permits, or if they might not even need a permit, but we just need to get a better handle on getting the public notice out there. So if there's something we could do in Monroe News, our websites, stuff that we could do, and then also the dead trees hanging over these roads. It's scary. Lower Matchaponics. I could name so many roads. Primeville Road, Schoolhouse Road, Federal Road. Almost every road out there. If we can get these trees, the branches over the county roads, the town roads, the dead ones. We just had one fall on Schoolhouse Road not too long ago. It closed the road down. But I think that's something that we could do now before the storms keep coming and the trees keep falling. Also, Mark mentioned before about the Stone Museum. The owner, Drake Spiro, was there for a long, long time. It almost hurts me to ask this, but because I remember him very well. He was a great public asset, in my opinion. He was a good businessman. He was good to our community, helping the handicapped children. He did a lot for our community. But the county still has road signs up that say Stone Museum, and there is no Stone Museum anymore. They're on Matchaponics, they're on Spotswood, Englishtown. It's going to be a hard pill to swallow when you drive by there and we see a development. And I know, Mr. Spiro, from looking down, he's going to be really hurt when he sees it. But if we can let the county know to please remove those signs, I'd appreciate it. And then also, I'd like to attend Saraville MTUA. I know Council President went one time. Kevin, you were there. We did that with Dave Samuels. I'd like to go see that lake with the water on their facility with the solar. I know you said you're busy. I sent you an email, but if you can make an arrangement, I would love to go. And if anyone else wants to join in that, I would love to see what the solar is going to look like on the lake. Because I'm worried about, is DP really going to let us do this on our facility? Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Cohen, you're next.
Oh, turning on. Thank you. That's usually the mayor's job. Make sure I put on a microphone. Appreciate that. Hello. We didn't have a meeting in July, and I don't know if you were all aware of the lovely art exhibit that is at our library that is by an organization of women artists whom I learned when I went the organization is over 100 years old. And their names have changed as how we address women has changed over time. But there is some very beautiful artwork there, and it will be there for another few weeks, and it's well worth a trip to the Rotunda to take a walk around and look at that. A reminder, this year, it's the 25th anniversary of 9/11. We will have our annual ceremony, and we hold that at Memorial Tree Park on Prospect Plains Road. And last year, as is my habit, I nagged some people into coming, and afterward she said to me, I am ashamed that I wasn't here before. So please, to remember those who were murdered. It's a brief and very moving ceremony, and I would hope everyone would come and remind ourselves of whatever goes on in our country. We are fortunate that we live here. The other is we'd like to just go back a moment, if Council President will permit me, and when the woman from Rossmore was talking about the people who apparently went without heat, and as I would hope that everyone is aware that you can apply for relief from your rates so that your bills can be lowered. And if you know of anyone who is experiencing difficulties in paying those bills, we have 2 social workers who work at our senior center who are really, you all know if you've dealt with them, are really good and efficient at their work, and would encourage people to solicit some assistance and see what is available to them. It is a terrible thing for anyone to be without heat, cold, or food. And those are all things that people can get some assistance with, including prescription assistance. And the social workers will help you do that kind of information. So I would hope that you tell people who are having a problem, or even just make general announcements, at a community meeting, for those of you who live in adult communities, to make people aware of those services and supports that are available, and you don't have to make anyone uncomfortable by saying, by the way, were you freezing this winter? So with my heat on, I was freezing, and I can imagine how awful for anyone who was not able to heat their houses adequately. Wish everyone, I'll see them all at the fireworks, and I'll see you all at the memorial event, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Council Vice President Markell?
Hello, everybody. I'm going to make this quick. I just have a couple of things to say. As far as on August 24th at the Senior Center at 10:30 in the morning, JCP&L will be there for a kind of a seminar on how to help you lower your heat. So make a note, the Senior Center, 10:30 on August 24th. They're going to give pointers on how to not lower your heat, lower your electric bill, I'm sorry. Everybody knows how to lower their heat, I guess. It's pretty easy. The other thing I want to say, on September 23rd, we're having a Taste of Monroe at the Senior Center, and what we do is we have various restaurants bring their sample food, and all you have to do is bring a can of something to donate to the Betty Snyder Food Pantry, which is one of the best food pantries in Middlesex County right now. I wasn't going to really mention anything about trees, but I was called by one of our residents in Clearbrook who was very upset that she couldn't cut down a tree in her backyard. So I went over there. She asked me what she could do about it. She got denied by the town. So she said the town is very uncooperative. So I went over there and I looked at the tree just to give you a brief summary of what it was all about. And there was a simple solution, relatively simple solution to her problem without cutting down this beautiful tree, which our arborist actually told her how to do it, which unfortunately, I don't know if she's willing to do it. I'm not going to get into the details. But sometimes it's not always to cut down a tree. There are other solutions to some problems to cut down a beautiful living tree. I also just want to congratulate the new recruits we have. It's amazing how they look like wrestlers. I actually wrestled in high school. I don't want to tell you what my record was, but I did do it. But anyway, everybody have a good rest of the summer, and we'll see you at our 4th of July in August celebration, and hopefully at the 9/11 celebration. Have a good rest of the summer.
Thank you. I have a few updates I'd like to share. So our Cultural Arts Commission, they've been busy with the free concerts this summer, but we also, something to put on your calendar this fall, they're going to be hosting a free fall concert at Dye Farm on September 17th with the rain date of September 24th from 5 to 6:30. There'll be food trucks and there'll be an opportunity to walk around the historic site if you haven't had an opportunity to. We will have overflow parking at the senior center and shuttle buses, and you do need to bring a chair. So it is beautiful there. Come join us for the concert. And in addition to the new business that Councilman DePiero mentioned, Monroe Dental, we also had another ribbon cutting this month for Petal and Pine Farm off of Mount Road. And I went there this weekend. It's lovely, beautiful flowers, lots of family activities, animal farm, mini golf. So go check it out. It's beautiful over there. They even had Christmas in July this past weekend. And, you know, once again, always support our farms if you can. There's so many farms, lots of great produce. You don't have to run to the grocery store. Sorry? Yeah, you can go get lettuce from the farms and you know where it's coming from. So support our local farms for all their great offerings. And thank you. And we'll move on to public comments, 5 minutes per speaker. May I have a motion to open, please? May I have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Public comments is open. 5 minutes per speaker. Please state your name and address for the record.
This is Kevin's fault. He triggered something in my head. At the intersection of Mounts Mill and Buccaloo, there's that property there that the town has. The house has been torn down. There's a building down there, a metal building that's not historic, but the historic community uses it for storage of things that they currently don't have on supply. It needs the roof painted, so badly. The first building that you come to, the roof has collapsed on that. That's a very old historic building, and it was a shingled roof, and it's collapsing. Probably we're going to have to demo that building. But the building, if we would preserve the roof of that with a painting, can last for another probably 10 years or more and be good storage for the historic community. So if someone could look in to see what the opportunity is there, maybe we can steal some paint from the guys that are doing the buildings down at the authority. The only other thing is to pile on to what other people were saying about JCP&L. They're just holding up so many projects in the town, and whatever pressure we can figure out how to pull on them. The intersection of Applegarth and Prospect Plains is held up by JCP&L, as are several other projects around the town. And it costs money to have police there for extended periods of time, and it's just an invitation for serious accidents. So it's not simply an inconvenience, it's a risk to the community. So whatever else we can do to put pressure on them, let's keep it up.
Council President, just regarding the barn on Mounts Mills and Buccaloo, actually I was out there today. I was in the barn. The barn roof doesn't leak. It was pouring rain, but we are looking at demolishing the I'll call it where the lean-to portion next to the barn. We were looking at it for structurally. The concern is right now we need to do some temporary support of the barn wall before we take down the building next to it that it's leaning on, essentially. So we are looking at that. I don't have any dates yet when we'll be out to bid for the demolition and the support of the barn, but we are working on it.
Great, thank you.
Again, Pat Swalj, 586A Madison Drive. I want to thank you for the changes to our zoning code, but I want to also say that that job is not finished. As it stands right now, there is a push all across the country to a call for making regulations, zoning regulations, and land use regulations data center ready. Right now, we don't have, we have few to none regulations on this industry that also comes with dangerous impacts. It is our concerns are all across the United States from regular citizens such as myself about the impacts of this industry are one of the few weapons that we have to make sure that our children and our grandchildren will be safe and will be taken care of. Technology is quite different from an AI data center. Technology that we are used to dealing with has been developed by humans. Our intelligence has created the wonderful advances in technology. And yes, we have some new advances, technological advances that comes from this artificial intelligence. But let me be very, very clear, there is a distinction. And what Americans are concerned about right now is no regulations on this industry. We marvel at the use of this technology, particularly in our medical systems. There are lots of wonderful innovations going on. We use technology every single day, all day long. We've done that for decades. We're used to it. And we're used to being surveilled by our own technology. When we have a conversation about going on a trip or buying a product, about 5 minutes later, we'll get an advertisement for that. So we are being surveilled by our own technology, and we've grown used to that. But I want to caution, right now, all of that human intelligence is going into millions and millions of AI data centers. Artificial intelligence isn't creating their own intelligence. They're mining it from humans. We don't have a copyright on personal photographs, on artwork of our school children, on the photographs of our grandchildren or children. We don't have a copyright on our computer searches, our TV viewing, our conversations, or our telephone calls. Our human intelligence is being processed into the artificial intelligence. The protest of the AI data centers doesn't have a whole lot to do with technology. It has to do with safety and the negative impact on our electric grid. Currently, that impact is costing us 20% more than it did a year ago in our electric bills. New Jersey has been classified as being in a drought, yet we have no regulations on the non-renewable water sources that these data centers require. Tech giants are eliminating thousands of jobs. Every couple of months, we hear a new $1,000, several $1,000s of jobs eliminated. We know now that half of the 2026 college graduating class, half of that class all across the country cannot find jobs, white-collar jobs. As we move from human to artificial intelligence data centers, there is a real increase in the importance of our government and governance and clearly delineated regulations on who bears the cost of the electricity and the energy that needs to be used. And beyond just the energy, the infrastructure that needs to be created. Because as a country, we don't have that now. We have to create that. Who's responsible for the cost of that? AI data centers emit air pollution from their cooling systems that they need. Noise and levels are clearly known to be harmful to humans and environments.
Thank you, Ms. Wadja. Your time is up.
I'm sorry my time is up because I had a little bit more to say about being data center ready. We're going to hold you guys responsible.
Thank
you. At the town, at the county, and
Thank
at the
you.
state.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Todd Grossman. I live at 16 Elmer Ave. I just wanted to talk about what Councilman DePiero talked about with the Shade Tree Commission. We just got to get the word out a little bit more about the permit-wise, how to get a permit, and just stuff like that. It's amazing that a lot of people don't know. They just chop down trees, and obviously that's not the way to do it. So, as Councilman DePiero said, if there's any other way, we can get the word. And we're also going to be at the National Night Out tomorrow. So we encourage all the residents to come and talk to us. We have applications. So.
I'm Carol Singer, 15 Dorchester Drive. I've been putting notices on next door about the shade tree, what's required. I think it'd be good to print out flyers and leave them at the desks of all the 55 communities. I just did it with the recycling. I put a whole bunch of booklets by our concierge. And yes, many of my friends do not know about needing a permit to cut down a tree. So that's important. Education on this is very important.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Prakash Pura, 33 Dana Drive. Very happy to see the pickleball courts in the senior center. Their parking lot, it looks beautiful. The courts look beautiful, very well done. I'm sure rest of the things going on. And came to know that the courts are available for residents of Monroe from Monday to Friday, sunrise to sunset. Only thing I learned today that they are not available on Saturday and Sunday because senior center is closed. My request is reconsider that because we have, fire district there, and our police are all over, so security will be there. So please reconsider whether they will be open for public on Saturday and Sunday, because most of the people work late and they love to play. So it will be good to reconsider. That's a request. But the public is so happy, okay? That is a positive. And I got comments that Prakash, Saturday, Sunday, if it is made available. So, yeah.
So, Council President, so the courts are available on Saturday and Sunday. I think the confusion might be that if the senior center is not open, then someone using the courts, there's no restroom to use, but you can still certainly use the courts.
I called this morning, and the reception said Saturday, Sunday, it is closed. So I think communication we can do.
Fair enough.
So thank you.
Yeah, I think there's a miscommunication there, but fair enough. Yep.
But thank you for that. I will announce tomorrow, so it will be very positive note. Another important thing going on for last 1 year and more. We get warranty letters in the mail. Your house, this thing is expired. You should act. And they are in different colors. And you get your car, this thing is expiring. You have to act by next Wednesday. So what is happening, solicitation, whatever it is called, salesmanship is going on throughout New Jersey, or I don't know. It is all over the place. I'm going to send copy to you tomorrow. I'm going to write to Senator Greenstein, because governor already passed a resolution about saying that, how the food pricing, they are manipulating and all. Here they're stealing our poor senior citizens. They're stealing the innocents. And this is a business going on indirectly, so want to act on that. I'll be sending a copy, so you all come to know at least 2 letters I kept in last 15 days. My son is in New York. He got a copy. So it is all over the place. So we have to act. Now, talking about the AI, the elections are coming. The things will be moving on. So we had different leaps in our United States. Aeroplanes came, cars came, so internet came. So those innovations always create, innovations when internet came, many people lost jobs, but the productivity went on, and we learned, adapted to it, and we prospered. Artificial intelligence has been there for ages. Now the term is there. Now the aeroplane flies by itself. When it monitors the pressure, it flies. I worked on tablet machines. When I was in pharmaceutical research, we manufacture 3,000 tablets every 2 minutes. The machine adapts to itself. That is, our children are going to learn, be better mathematicians, better scientists. Only thing is how we can use it to solve the problems of the society in positive way. So I agree with the concerns. This monster is out. How we can control. The evil people will use it for bad purpose. How we can stop those evil people. Using this artificial intelligence, we can stop those evil, okay? And use it for positivity. So that is my request. There is a lot of opportunity. Otherwise I tell you, if we, America, don't adopt it, China will move forward, India will move forward, other European countries will move forward, and we will miss. America is always front in technology. Today, President Trump said $200 billion investment will go to the private, not to the universities. We have to be careful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carol Singer, 15 Dorchester Drive. I just wanted to say, in China, they are building AI centers underwater for cooling. They are building them in mountainous, cold regions, so they are not sucking up the resources of the civilians. AI can be a great thing, but it has to be done without punishing the citizens. Thank you.
Alan Moraine, 64 Starlight Drive. I am impressed over the knowledge of the council people and the department heads. I don't know what your salaries are. I know you're not getting rich out of it. You put so much time and effort into it. You've had the answers to the questions that have been asked, and you put up with a lot of complaints. You do what you can. I know Councilman Markle went to look at a tree that a citizen had a concern about, and I'm sure that everyone here has those chores to deal with people that have legitimate concerns, and I think that you're all underappreciated.
Good evening. My name is John Kercheski, 5 Galicia Way, Monroe Township. I met with the mayor last year in regards to the landfill, our street. The mayor was supposed to have another meeting with me. I've been coming up here asking about a meeting with him, have him call me. He's yet to call me. I know he's not here, so that's okay. I'm going to go on with my issues. Pardon? I was a police officer in Monroe Township for 33 years. I started August 19th, 1974. I know about the landfill. I stopped the tankers coming out of there. I asked for the bill of lading. They gave it to me. It said water. I was a patrolman. I turned it into the chain of command. You got to follow the chain of command. You can't jump the chain of command. Nothing was done. Then all of a sudden, years later, the chief of police, Garvey, calls us all upstairs for a meeting. They're dumping poison chemicals in the landfill. I want a car at Matchaponics and Spotswood Gravel Hill. I want one by Toast Chicken Farm off by Ellingham. And I want one where milk and stuff wasn't there. A car there. We left the meeting, went downstairs, said to the sergeant, what are we going to do? Are we going to do it? No. They already had the information. So they knew the poison was coming into that dump. Now I suggest that before you put solar panels on the dump, you just do x-rays, because they got the sophistication where they can ground penetration and they can see the tankers that George Alsheimer, who was the game warden years ago, told me, John, they backed tankers in there and they buried them with chemicals in them. And BFI was the culprit. They brought in chemicals from all over. You talk to any of the old people in the town, Councilman DePiero, other people that I know, you talk to them and they'll tell you about it. So that dump should be, before you put solar panels, do the ground penetration. There's vehicles that are buried in there. I used to ride the police car through Lanny. They were putting the slabs in, ride through the chemical coming out. It stunk so bad. Go back to the headquarters, wash the car off because it was so bad. The public service workers told me, you don't want to live within a mile of this place. Well, I think I live within a mile. Galicia to the dump. It's a horrible dump. The mayor told me that they put a pipe from the dump to Avenue K. So I told the mayor, let's go down to Avenue K and I'll give you a cup, you drink it. Mayor didn't say nothing to me about it. I wanted another meeting with him. He was late for our meeting. He was come with Mark, and he was late. And I tell the truth. I'm honest. Always done my job. 33 years. I worked for the town. I did the job. I was honest. Let's talk about Old Reliable Water Company, Paxton's Hill. You're not familiar with it, where the Jewish Center is on Cornell? Across from the Jewish Center was Old Reliable Water Company. Had a big water tower. It took care of that whole area down here, giving the people water. That's why the cancer rate is so bad, birth defects in that area. Donna Buchanan, Monroe Deli was a 7-Eleven. I would go there on the weekend, midnight shift, stop when they were doing newspapers, have a cup of coffee, play peekaboo with the little cute, beautiful girl. Well, she died from cancer. Danny Ryan, a friend of mine, a football field is named after his son. He died from cancer. The dumps got poisoned. Councilman DePiro wants to go to the station where the stuff is all pumped to. I would like to go too and see how they're treating the chemical. When a pipe broke in Cherville in the lowlands, where it took the stuff through, the waste goes over, the chemical lays low in the pipe. I believe, it's my belief, that's why the pipe broke, because of the poisons that were put into that dump. So what kind of treatment are they getting? And another thing, money leaves towns through two ways that I
Sir,
know.
your time is up. Thank you for your comments.
My time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you. If anybody wants to talk to me when I leave, feel free to talk to me.
Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close? May I have a second? All in favor? Any opposed? May I have a motion to adjourn? May I have a second? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you.
We are adjourned. The time is 8:56.